Habitants for Humanity Uganda, in collaboration with the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development and other stakeholders, today carried out the second National Housing Symposium, organized under the theme Informal Settlement as a Driver for Economic Growth. The symposium showcase promotes palliate innovative solutions that will improve the housing sector. It also promotes enterprise development, knowledge sharing and increased institutional and regulatory support for mainstreaming sustainable dimensions within the housing projects.
The Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, in partnership with Habitat for Humanity and other stakeholders, have been very active in the organization of the Housing Symposium and other high-level fora, whereas policy makers will discuss the progress of the implementation of the housing policies, strategies, best housing market practices, and emerging solutions. It is on this note, therefore, that I wish to call upon the general public and all key stakeholders to always come and learn more.
According to the Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, the Parliament of Uganda is coming up with the regulations of the real estate, both private and public houses. However, the real estate bill has not yet been passed by the Cabinet.
Real estate bill, I took it to Cabinet some time back. The principles of the real estate bill, they were approved by Cabinet, but Cabinet directed us to expound on our consultations and benchmark with a few countries on how they are running the real estate services in those respective countries. A team from the ministry, I think they went to South Africa, they went to India, they benchmarked with Kenya, and right now we returned the bill for drafting in the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, and I was told that it is almost getting out of there, and once it is returned to the ministry, then we shall take it to Cabinet again for further discussion, and if they are satisfied with our consultations, then we'll be good to go to Parliament.
On the issue of taxes on houses, Nabakooba says that the ministry is working in hand with URA to ensure that all these houses which are taxed are payable.
In discussions with the Ministry of Finance, but also URA and KCCA, we want to make sure that once the rates are revised, they become favorable and people will be in position to pay for their rates, because right now you might realize that we could be collecting like about 40%, yet the number of properties where taxes could be collected, but people tend to hide or not even to declare themselves. But we believe that once we make it friendly and affordable, then people will just come in, and it will be even very easy for those who will be collecting those rates to make sure that they mobilize the communities.
However, the ministry condemns all the people who build houses in the slums and forbidden areas, and yet this is affecting the houses of other people and also lands.
There is no regulation that guides, and you realize that even the communities that stay in those areas are prone to a number of disasters, but also to health hazards, meaning that as government we need to come up with a plan to see how sustainable are these slums. Are we in position to develop them as government, to put high-rise buildings, or we can even attract investors? Because when you look at the land where these informal settlements are, this is prime land. Most of the land is in cities, like you've heard. People come from the villages to cities to look for jobs, to look for opportunities, and they end up in such kind of settlements. But we believe that once we attract investment, all government.
From the local context, Uganda currently faces a growing housing deficit of 2.4 million housing units. It is estimated that around 900,000 housing units in Uganda are being substandard.